Right, but yeah, I'll be talking about Ruben Amorim potential sack threat and talk about him only having 3 games to kind of save his career really at Manchester United. We'll also be talking about KOBBIE MAINOO, potential move to Newcastle on the card for him, which again don't think it's going to happen, but again we'll talk about it. But yeah, that's really about it. I mean, there hasn't really been too much stuff to talk about in terms of news wise. But obviously we have the stuff about Ruben Amorim, his like futures on the line and all that stuff like that. But yeah, I'll also talk about Lisandro Martinez being utilised in midfield as well. But listen, I want to start off with this that came out from Alex Crook. And listen, TalkSport, again, were pretty reliable over the summer. Ben Jacobs was kind of a part of it, Alex Crook as well. He said, I don't think we're far away from the players losing belief in the manager. Ruben Amorim has 3 games to save his Manchester United career. Among candidates to replace him are Oliver Glasner, Southgate, Marco Silva, Andoni Iraola and Mauricio Pochettino. So, listen, on Ruben Amorim, I think United obviously still have the faith in keeping him at the club. I think for me, he needs time. And I think, listen, some of the stuff he's saying and some of the things that he's doing I don't agree with. But I think he can be a successful manager at United. I think it's always difficult when you come in mid-season, which he did. But he's had the pre-season and we still see no improvement. And that would probably be where the warning signs lie. The fact that obviously the old excuse from November until when the season ended in May, it was he didn't have a pre-season. He needed time to work with the players. Now, again, there still will be problems when you come into the season. But we've come into the season now with 1 game a week. A lot of time on the training pitch, but I don't think. Listen, we've seen a slight improvement, I would say, but we've not seen a significant improvement. The same mistakes that have been occurring at the start of Ruben Amorim's tenure, for example, losing your man or like poor errors in possession, are causing problems again for United now. In terms of what he does, as I said, our next game is to Chelsea, which is a huge game. For United, it's absolutely massive, especially for Ruben Amorim. He needs this sort of game, but he needs to win this game ideally. Then after that, I think it's Brentford, and then I think Sunderland before we go into international break. So they're the 3 games that I'm on about to kind of save his career. Again, he's under a lot of pressure, under a lot of sort of restraint at the moment at Manchester United, which again makes sense. I think the performances this season have been alright. It's just the results have not been there. Like City was a shocking performance. I think the one thing that people, and it's been reported, are getting concerned about is his sort of emotion, which again is a good thing, but sometimes I do think it's becoming a negative. I think if you look at Ruben Amorim, he's a very emotional guy. He wants to do well, but he's not coming across at that. And I think his stubbornness, again, is ultimately something that can cause problems. The fact that he don't want to change his formation, the fact that he's adamant on playing Bruno in that midfield, I think is a problem. But yeah, that's that. Well, the next thing, Lisandro Martinez could be used as a stopgap defensive midfielder for Manchester United when he returns from injury. So, listen, on the midfield, I mean, so the amount of players we've had that have been at the club, I've seen Diogo Dalot's been tried as a centre mid in training. I've seen even the previous managers like try Lindelof in CDM when he was having that unreal streak. I think it was under Oli in the 2020-21 season. Everyone's saying put Lindelof at CDM or put Martinez at DM. Like, listen, ultimately, do I think Martinez will do well? I'm pretty sure he has played there before, if I'm correct. But again, the issue is not with the amount of midfielders we have, I don't think. Yes, we would ideally want more and you'd want, but the issue is the fact that he's playing Bruno in the wrong position. So, listen, I still don't think a dynamic, if you were to have Casemiro and Ugarte with Lisandro Martinez, won't make any sense. And I just don't think it will happen. Again, you could very well see it. That could be something that does come into kind of play at Manchester United, but I don't think it will at the moment. I think United, Amorim's focus is, he does need to change the midfield, and I talked about that yesterday, where maybe like bringing one of the 3 forward players into midfield, and then having 2 play off him could be that something that works. But we'll have to wait and see what does happen. Now, lastly, Manchester United considering Newcastle United considering a January move for Manchester United KOBBIE MAINOO. Eddie Howe is known to be an admirer of the player. I mean, who isn't? I mean, KOBBIE is a fantastic player, and it's only I think every club in the Premier League would love to have. If we look at his time at United, Over the last 12 months, 8 been great in terms of minutes. And listen, I thought when he came on against City, he was a very good player. I should be someone who's definitely starts against Chelsea, but we'll talk about that when the preview comes out. Newcastle, again, there will be a plethora of clubs interested. I've seen, I think, Spurs, Newcastle, obviously Chelsea will be interested in signing him. Again, United have to find a place for MAINOO in this team. He's one of those players who you have to, like, not build your team around per se, but you have to find a place for him in your team because he's that good and has that much quality. And I think you look at the midfield, and again, it comes back to if you do bring someone else in midfield, or if you do play 3 in midfield, that gives you an opportunity to play KOBBIE MAINOO. But I think he should be playing against Chelsea in particular as well. He should be starting that game. There's nothing that I've seen from Casemiro, Bruno, or Ugarte who have done better than him. But let me know your thoughts.